There is a type of person who does not chase. They do not beg. They do not convince. They simply appear, and suddenly you cannot stop thinking about them. You replay the conversation in your head. You check your phone hoping they messaged. You wonder what they are doing, who they are with, whether they are thinking about you too. You have felt this. Maybe recently. Maybe with someone who did not even seem to be trying. And that is exactly the point. They were not trying. They were being. There is a difference. And understanding that difference is the beginning of everything. This is chapter 1. The Siren. The Siren is not a myth. It is not a fantasy. It is a strategy. A way of moving through the world that makes you magnetic without effort, desirable without desperation, powerful without force. The Siren does not seduce with looks alone. The Siren seduces with presence, with mystery, with the art of making others feel something they cannot name but cannot escape. And here is what most people get wrong. They think seduction is about what you do. It is not. It is about what you withhold. Let me explain what is actually happening when someone has this effect on you. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. All day long it is categorizing things, safe or dangerous, familiar or new, understood or mysterious. When something is easy to understand, your brain files it away and moves on. But when something is mysterious, when the pattern is incomplete, your brain cannot let it go. It keeps returning to it, keep trying to solve it. That is not attraction. That is obsession. And the Siren knows how to trigger it on purpose. Think about the last person you were truly fascinated by. Not just attractive, fascinating. Did they tell you everything about themselves immediately? Did they explain every thought, every feeling, every plan? No. There were gaps. There were things you did not know, things you wanted to know. And that wanting is what kept you thinking about them. Most people do the opposite. They overshare. They overexplain. They fill every silence because silence makes them uncomfortable. They answer every question before it is even asked. And in doing so, they hand their power away completely. The moment someone fully understands you, the pull weakens. Not because you are less interesting, but because the mystery is gone. And mystery is the fuel. Here is the first law of the Siren. Incompleteness creates desire. You are not trying to be understood. You are trying to be wondered about. There is a massive difference. When you walk into a room and immediately tell people everything about yourself, your job, your problems, your opinions, your history, you are giving them a completed picture. And completed pictures get hung on the wall and forgotten. But an unfinished painting, people stand in front of it. They lean in. They try to figure out what it is supposed to be. You want to be the unfinished painting. This is not about being fake. This is not about lying or hiding who you are. It is about understanding that everything you reveal too soon loses its value. You would not open every gift on the first day of December. The anticipation is part of what makes Christmas morning feel like Christmas morning. The Siren applies the same principle to themselves. Now let me tell you about the second law. Pleasure and discomfort must coexist. This is the part most people miss entirely. They think attraction is about making someone feel good. And it is. But not only good. If you only ever make someone feel comfortable, they will like you. They will enjoy your company. But they will not be consumed by you. The Siren introduces just enough discomfort to keep the other person slightly off balance. Not cruelty. Not games for the sake of games. Strategic tension. Think about it this way. If you have ever watched a great film, you know the feeling. The story pulls you in. Something good happens. Then something threatens to take it away. And you lean forward. You cannot look away. You need to know how it ends. The Siren is not a character in the story. The Siren is the storyteller. They control the emotional rhythm. They give warmth and then pull back slightly. They show interest and then become briefly unavailable. Not as manipulation, as art. Because here is the truth about human psychology. We do not deeply value what is always there. We value what we have to earn slightly. What we are not entirely sure we have. There is a reason that almost getting something feels more intense than having it. The Siren understands this and uses it with precision. But here is where most people fail when they try to apply this. They become cold. They become distant. They confuse withholding warmth with creating mystery. That is not how it works. The Siren is warm. Deeply warm. Their presence feels like sunlight. You feel seen when you are with them. You feel interesting. You feel like the most important person in the room. And then they look away. They turn their attention elsewhere. And suddenly all you want is to get that feeling back. That warmth. That attention. That feeling of being chosen. That is the architecture of fascination. Warmth first. Attention next. Then a gentle withdrawal. And the other person will do almost anything to pull you back in. Now let us talk about how you carry yourself. Because the Siren is not just a mindset. It is a physical language. Slow down. Everything. Your words. words, your movements, your reactions. When someone says something to you and you respond instantly, you are telling them that their words hit you immediately, that you are reactive, that they have power over your emotional state. But when you pause, when you take a breath, when you let a moment of silence live between you before you respond, you are showing them something very different. You are showing them that you are not in a hurry, that you are not anxious for their approval, that you exist on your own frequency and they are welcome to tune into it. This kind of stillness is rare. It is uncomfortable for most people to be around at first, because most people are used to nervous energy, used to fast talking and filling silences and performing. When someone comes along who does not perform, who simply is, it is disorienting. And disorientation, when combined with warmth, creates fascination. Your eye contact matters. Not the staring kind, not the aggressive kind, the steady kind, the kind that says I am listening and I am not afraid of what I might see. Most people break eye contact too quickly. They look away because holding someone's gaze feels too exposed, too vulnerable. But the siren does not look away first. Not out of dominance, out of presence. There is a difference and people feel it immediately. And your voice, lower than you think, slower than feels natural, not performed slowness, settled slowness, like someone who has nowhere else to be, like someone who knows the value of what they are saying before they say it. Here is what you need to understand about this chapter before we go further. The siren is not a role you play, it is a state you inhabit. It is built on one foundation above everything else: self-possession. Self-possession means you are not looking for someone else to complete you. You are not performing for approval. You are not anxious about whether someone likes you. You are rooted in yourself. And that rootedness is what makes you magnetic. Because most people are unrooted. Most people are constantly reaching outside themselves for validation, for attention, for permission to feel good about who they are. When they encounter someone who is not reaching, who is simply standing still and full, it pulls at something deep inside them. They want to be near that person. They want to understand it. They want some of it for themselves. That is your power. Not your looks, not your words, not your strategy, your presence, your completeness. The fact that you are not trying to take anything from them because you are already full. And that is the beginning of the siren. Not a trick, not a technique, a transformation in how you see yourself and how you move through the world because of that. Chapter 1 ends here. But this is not the end of the lesson. This is the foundation. The rest of the chapters build on this. The art of the look, the power of absence, the slow reveal. All of it comes later. But none of it works without this first. You have to become the unfinished painting. You have to master the balance of warmth and withdrawal. You have to slow down, go quiet, and become the most interesting presence in any room without saying a single thing about yourself. The siren does not ask to be noticed. The siren simply makes it impossible not to.